Karma is striking all of them who tried to fight Lieutenant Mokwele one after the other, from Kat Matlala to Fadiel Adams, and now Andrea Johnson is dancing to her own music badly at the Madlanga Commission. The crook and liar has been caught red-handed at the Madlanga Commission. The letter that authorized the arrest of General Khumalo was actually written and signed by her. When she was pressed more on how she came up with that, she made the biggest confession nobody could believe. Most of the clips have been taken down from mainstream media, but don't worry yourself because I got your back. I have compiled everything, and all you have to do is to grab your popcorn and let's watch together till the end. When things like this happen, we should not forget to thank Lieutenant Mokwele, who risked his life to expose those criminals. If you truly like Mokwele, hit the like button, comment Viva our hero, and don't forget to subscribe for more updates. Jabulani, start dropping the clips one after the other.
There is 13285. But the 3285 is the designation. What I'm looking for is the actual application. And that's how I landed 3307. Thank you. Are you at file 83307?
Correct, Counsel.
Now, I understood your testimony on Thursday, in summary, to be Advocate Ramsamy. You handed that Section 27 to Advocate Ramsamy. She considers the affidavit together with legal provisions. She then arrives at certain conclusions and she drafts a Section 2813 application and submits to you for consideration and approval. Am I on the right track there?
That is correct.
So I see at 3307, it's one such, it's addressed to you. And it says Advocate Santos Manilao and Advocate Ramsamy. It's dated the 5th of December 2024. This is in relation to the list of 12, and that is at 3309. And while we are here, Advocate, I've resisted the temptation, but I think I succumb. The person at 3.12, automotive engineer, who's that? Is the automotive name? Do you have any idea?
No, Chair. These were the names that, when I checked with Advocate Ramsamy, she said they were on that. They were on a paper that were furnished after Mr. Perumal had spoken to Mr. Adams.
Yes.
Yes.
So, at the risk of asking a stupid question, automotive engineer has got an ID number. Is that somebody we can search for at Home Affairs?
It should be an entity that could be found.
An entity?
Yes, ma'am.
But it says engineer, suggesting a person.
It's an entity, from how I understand it.
All right. I'm interested in 313, though. It says any and all individuals or entities whose identities are currently unknown, but which may become known during the investigation. You recall we started with Section 27th affidavit, which identified the first three names. We established that Mr. Perumal, through you suggested Mr. Perumal added the rest of the names, having consulted with Mr. Adams. But then it goes, so that's broadening it. But 313 goes even broader, considering the purpose for which you would be issuing a Section 28 investigating. That there should be a limit to powers that are granted. 313 could very well discover my name in there and I become subjected to this investigation. Is that proper, though? Because it's a limitless power and authorization here.
Council, it's not limitless because it relates to any and all individuals or entities whose identities are currently unknown, but are limited in which may become known during the course of this investigation.
Yes.
Yes.
But it doesn't go further to say that they are implicated in whatever crime is being investigated.
No.
It's just the names being known, and suddenly there's authorization to go investigate them as well.
It doesn't of necessity mean that they are investigated. Any and all individuals or entities whose identities are currently unknown, but which may become known during the course of the investigation. Once those details come through, investigators are able to determine whether those are persons of interest to be investigated or those are persons whose names have come up and are potential witnesses.
So technically it's left to then the investigators. If they like me, they come across my name, they don't have to investigate. But if they don't like me, then they investigate. Do you understand my challenge? Because I think too much power resides and discretion resides with them. And that somehow has the potential to undermine the system. Doesn't it?
I take your point, but that shouldn't be done.
Okay.
That is not what the purpose of this insertion is. And it was also for practical reasons. You've got the authorization. You're conducting investigations. Names come up. And the names can be either or. So if it is persons who would fall into the category of suspects or persons of interest, then you'd have to come back for an amendment. Yes. And so you are able to then deal with the investigation without the to and fro of the... I do take the point.
Okay.
And perhaps it could be couched somewhat differently, but this is what we have used over the time.
But isn't it a necessary control mechanism that what has been justified to you are the specific names? So you were given these names. There must have been justification to you. We had the earlier discussion about you satisfying yourself that there is a basis to include these specific names. And if that is your system, then paragraph 3.13 should not be there because it means people will be included without it being justified to you who gave the authority. You understand the point I'm making?
I understand.
So 3.13 is very much open to abuse if you're not controlling it, if they don't come back to you to justify. And what you are saying to us now is you gave them that latitude to justify just from 3.1 up to 3.12, but then beyond that, you gave them latitude to justify that, and you were satisfied that there is merit in having 3.1 up to 3.12 to be investigated. But then what you go on to do then in 3.13, and you say to us that's how IDEC has always operated, is you then leave it to them to then determine as they go along to investigate without having to justify to you, which defeats the very purpose of justification to you in the first place. So my suggestion would be, if that's how you were operating, then you may as well just have at 3.13. They come and they tell you, we are going to investigate anyone that may be implicated, because that's the effect of 3.13. It allows anyone that Colonel Padeachi gets their name, if Mr. Adams had said, Mr. Bodlani, that's all that would have happened. He would have gone and investigated him under 3.13 without coming to you as the repository of the authority to authorize investigations into individuals, without coming to you to say, here's my justification for investigating him.
It was not the intention,
yeah.
but I do take.
But it is the effect.
It in all likelihood is the effect, and I take the point. And just for reassurance, Mr. Botlani is not in 3.13.
Yeah, we don't know who else Mr. Colonel Pareachi included in there, but he may well, and you have no control over that. You have no way of knowing. And I say, Colonel Pareachi, not to target him specifically, all your investigators. They may well be conducting investigations of individuals that are not authorized by you and that may possibly not be related to a subject matter with that kind of provision.
The point is taken, Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. We were still with that application. I see if we go to page 3311.
Sorry, Ms. Sila, maybe before you go
Yes.
there, let me ask my question before I forget. You say at 3310 under
For that purpose, I would like you to have before you file 3. And at file 3, I would like us to go to page 936. This is a Section 28 summons issued and signed by you on the 6th of February 2025. The questions I'll be posing on this document could potentially be part answered by the A1 statements you received that you've provided in terms of the letter. All A1 statements issued by Mr. Adams.
Okay.
Could potentially be, but like I say, still have to consider the content. You, I assume, would have cast your eye on the A1 statements and are able to confirm whether or not the A1 statements provided lend us to where this Section 28 summons is. Are you with me?
I'm with you.
My view is that summons will only make sense if buttressed by a compliant Section 27, supplementary statements, and any other information available to the investigators as at the 6th of February to issue that summons. Would that be a logical?
It follows.
Thank you. Now, this document, the summons, if you go over leaf at 937, just above a signature there, above your name, which I think it's your signature, you do confirm.
Yes, ma'am.
The details of the matter are said to be as follows. I quote, "This investigation pertains to manipulation of security vetting processes which resulted in the unlawful issuing of security clearances in favor of personnel within the Division Crime Intelligence of the South African Service." End quote.
I see that.
At the time you signed these summons, what evidence did you have, as by you, of course, I mean collectively the institution IDEC, what evidence did IDEC have to even conclude that there had been manipulation of security vetting processes and unlawful issuing of security clearances in favor of anyone within crime intelligence?
According to me, it would have had to have been the Section 27 referral, and it would have had to have been the supplementary affidavits that had been taken in January of 2025.
And as we established last week, we know that our Section 27 only expresses a suspicion of the commission of this crime without any underlying facts to support such a suspicion. So the answer then must lie in the subsequent supplementaries that we were received.
Correct.
My question then is, what must the Commission do if it lands at a position where the supplementary statements do not support a claim such as reflected here? That on reading both the Section 27 and the relevant supplementary statement, one cannot reasonably conclude that a crime such as reflected here has even been committed or contemplated.
So if it's not made out in the supplementary, because that is what the supplementary sought to do, then these become problematic.
Yes.
Because one would have to go back to those A1s
Yes.
and see what was said for them to have compiled to ask for this information.
And then if we go over leaf at 938, and your summons does say the detail is contained in your Annexure B, and that is at 938. There is that list of 7. And this summons effectively asks for complete applications for security clearances and vetting files for the officers listed therein, starting with General Khumalo, in respect of all the ranks he's held, starting with the Brigadier, Major General, and Lieutenant General. And the pattern repeats itself. Now, as we had this discussion last week, one can understand perhaps how General Khumalo is identified. I think he's mentioned by name in the Section 27 referral. So is General Lushaba and General Madondo. At this juncture in February, again, we have that problem of names that do not appear from documentation that IDEC has at the moment it takes this drastic step, appearing in such documents as these summonses. I know you've signed, and I take it you signed because you are the head of the institution, but the document, the summons would have been drafted for you.
Correct.
Who would have drafted these summons?
These would have been drafted by an investigator. It could have been Mr. Perumal or Mr. Padiachi,
Okay.
and or perhaps Mr. Mansa.
Mr.?
Mansa, M-A-N-T-S-H-A.
Oh, Mansa.
As being those, as being some of the investigators at the time.
Now,
Sorry,
yes.
at the bottom, Chair, at the bottom of 936, it does say at the bottom, there was also one of the investigators assigned was Investigator Mlambo. So the inquiries to Senior Investigator Mlambo at the bottom of 936.
I see what you mean.
Yes.
At where it indicates to whom inquiries must be addressed.
Yes.
Okay. So he also could potentially be one. Now, we have since come to learn that Brigadier Ngube at item 1.4 was involved in the panel that recommended the appointment. Chair, apologies.
Oh, yeah. May I just refer to the part just above your signature at 937. That's the part headed details of the matter or other information. Was that meant to capture what was to be investigated? Or why is that included there?
Chair, they include it in there so as not to have a generalized subpoena. Because if you issue it only with the introduction and the background, and then you're on 938, just have a list of requests, it must relate to something. So when it's put in there, that is what the investigators reflect.
So am I correct to say it was meant to set out what's intended to be investigated?
That is correct.
Oh, okay. For the future, perhaps, for those who will be at IDEC, because the way it's captured, it says this investigation pertains to manipulation of security vetting processes, which resulted in the unlawful issuing of security clearances. It appears to be stating a fact instead of saying...
An allegation.
Yes. It's stating a fact as it is currently stated or set out there.
The point is noted.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Staying then with this list, as I said, we've come to learn that Brigadier Ngube was part of the panel that interviewed and recommended Brigadier Mokwele for appointment. I think I've been making a mistake, which I would like to take opportunity to correct. 1.5, the Van Vuren referred to here, is a crime intelligence officer already within crime intelligence. It's not the Van Vuren that applied for the job with Mrs. Mokwele. So, at some point I thought I'd concluded that it was one of the applicants, but judging by information on some other documents here, I think I'm wrong in that regard, and I'd like to take this opportunity to correct my error. You then have Brigadier Mokwele. The one name I haven't come across in this investigation is Brigadier D. Bobby. Do you know who that is and how she gets to be included in this list?
It could be that it is not a person who is being investigated, but a person to provide the documents having the... No, I haven't come across Bobby because they read exactly the same as the other. Sorry, yes, it reads the same.
Now, as I had suggested to you, it's likely, as you say, either Mr. Perumal, Mr. Padiechu, Mr. Mancha, or Mr. Mlambo prepared this. What do you, as the ID, normally have before you to ensure that the summons that you authorize is supported by some level of evidence that entitle you, as IDEC, to investigate, in this case, these crime intelligence officers to this extent? Do you just take their word for it? Do they prepare a document for you? Do you have an opportunity to glance the inquiry file to account for each name that is listed here?
What ordinarily happens, Chair, is that the person who issues or drafts the summons would come and brief the ID on, we need to issue a summons to this person. Part of the investigation relates to the manipulation of the security vetting, and in our investigation we have identified what is required and from whom.
So, if I understand you correctly, when we do get that investigation file, we will have a clear understanding of the basis on which these officers were selected to be included in the summons, each one of them in turn.
It should.
Okay, because you say it should, you force me to run ahead, and if it doesn't, if when we do receive the file, we find that there is no basis, for what is contained in Annex B against these officers? What does that mean for IDEC and the Commission and the law?
Well, first of all, IDEC would have to, the person who compiled the summons would have to indicate where they've got this from, if it's not in the file, and what was the base document upon which these names were extracted and or identified.
It can't.
And the basis.
Continue.
Sorry, the basis on which.
Am I reading it correctly? Duly assisted and by General Masemola, who fast-tracked the clearance of General Khumalo, knowing that Khumalo did not have a top secret clearance for many years. My first question, what crime is being complained of here?
I am aware that from a certain rank, they are all supposed to have security clearances as per their own internal requirements. And that not having security clearance at a specific rank does not allow you to occupy that rank.
Yes.
Yes. And so for me, it would be, it is more a contravention of either the Intelligence Services Act and or the contravention of a standing order of the South African Police Services.
And what crime is that?
So in this paragraph,
if I may just add, remember we should keep at the back of our minds Section 7, bracket 1, bracket capital A. What crime is that to bring whatever was happening here, assuming it is correct, within the mandate of IDEC?
So we are reading one statement.
Yes.
And the question you asked in council is based just only on this paragraph and what crime it commits.
On the vetting issue.
On the vetting issue.
Yes, on the vetting issue.
So if a vetting is fast-tracked, what crime is committed? So if a national commissioner fast-tracks the vetting of one of his generals, what crime is committed there?
The likelihood, Commissioner Khumalo, is that in the manner in which it is done, that there could be fraud having been committed because there are certain processes that happen and there's, it can't happen in 3 days. There's checks, there's, you've got to go and do background checks, financial checks. There's quite a few things that must happen. So it would mean that either something fraudulent happened, which could be the only case, but the bypassing of the vetting would be a contravention then in terms of the intelligence services. So other than the fraud, if it took place, there isn't anything else there that would bring it into the mandate.
The question, Ms. Siller's question is, what places that within the mandate of IDEC? Even if what you're suggesting were to be shown to have happened, they fast-tracked it and they committed some fraud in the process, why would that be something that falls within your mandate in 7.1a?
Just merely in terms of the fraud, nothing else.
But you do remember that when you appeared last time, you accepted that the fraud, theft, and that list, forgery and uttering, they have to be related.
Yes.
To the main.
To a financial crime.
Yeah.
Or commercial crime.
A serious corruption. So why do you say that would be so in this case? Why would the fast tracking of a security clearance or vetting constitute a serious crime of corruption that falls within 7(1)(a).
I hear you, Commissioner Baloy. I can't take it further than the point that you've made.
Is another way to your answer a clearer way that you don't see why it would be a crime
As it stands here, I cannot see.
that comes within your mandate?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Thanks, Mr.
And we know that General Khumalo is facing charges and potential arrest under case 453/06/2025, and that's pertaining to the vetting issue. Is that correct? The warrant of arrest that was suspended, it relates to the vetting issues, doesn't it?
I speak under correction. It